Hey y'all, it's Ashley, your Southern Lesbian, and welcome back. I wanted to do this little episode because are there things that y'all feel like we should just talk about more as women, as lesbians, as a queer community? Like for me, for example, I just went through a little health scare and I wanted to kind of tell y'all, I wanted to share a little bit with y'all about it because I am starting a little side project podcast on this same channel and I don't want people to get confused and I don't want you to think that I'm not okay. I'm okay. Let me just say that first. But I've started another little podcast on this channel under a different playlist and it's called the Not Scary Podcast. So the idea is each episode, for however long that goes on, I want to talk about things that might seem scary to us a little bit, but I want to do it in a not scary way. So for instance, y'all, in my case, I found a breast lump last October. So that's why I've been a little bit quieter in a big way on this channel because I've just been dealing with a lot, going through that, all the testing, all the everything. I am fine. I'm on the other side of it now. I had a lumpectomy in February and thankfully it seems like all is well. And we do think that we know what the cause of mine was, which was being off balanced on HRT, only taking progesterone without any estradiol to counterbalance that. Long story. You can hear all about it on that if you want. Otherwise, I don't want to get into all that right now. But I am going to start walking people through steps of that process because I feel like a lot of women and maybe even men certainly can have breast cancer as well. A lot of people do go through it. And I just realized I was so fearful when it happened. I was terrified to look up information for myself. I didn't want to listen to podcasts. I was so scared of what I thought I might find. Come to find out, once I went through the process and once I got on the other side and I realized I'm very lucky and I'm so grateful for this, but a lot of the fears that I had really were in my head and a lot of them were based on other people's experiences. And I wanted to do my best to stay present and stay positive. And I wanted to bring this up on here today because I chose not to talk about it to people because that to me was an easier way to handle it. And I think it's an easier way for a lot of people to handle things. Because when you are nervous about something and you don't want to stay in that energy and live in that energy, telling other people can make that energy perpetuate, right? You're going to constantly have people going, are you okay? Is everything all right? And although that's very well-meaning and very kind, I personally didn't want to have to deal with that all the time. And I know from experience, friends of mine who have been through similar stuff feel the same way. But it got me to thinking about, well, what other things are we not addressing? So not just for that podcast, I mean just on this one, on your Southern Lesbian. Are there things in the LGBTQ community or in the lesbian community specifically, or as women, you know, of a certain age, and here we are. I mean, we can talk about all kinds of gay stuff on this channel. We can talk about other things too. We can talk about things that are specifically for women. Like I am exploring different hormone therapies and what's allowed for me now. A lot of it's not gonna be. Ugh, I don't like that. I'm a vain lesbian. I need to maintain a certain look, y'all. I mean, y'all know what I mean. I just, health-wise, you know, you want to keep your estrogen as long as possible. And there's so many health benefits to being on HRT. So I'm learning right now what I can be on, what I can't be on. If anybody is curious about learning more about that stuff, I can talk a bit about what I've learned. There certainly are a lot more specialists out there on YouTube than me about this stuff. But if you want me to dumb it down for us a little bit, as I would do, then I'm happy to explain what I'm learning. Mainly, I just wanted to touch base with y'all today and let you know and see my face that I am okay. You're going to see these podcast episodes coming out alongside on this channel, and I don't want to freak anybody out. I don't also at the same time want to minimize what that experience was. It was terrifying, and it was 7 months of my life, October, November, December, January. Yeah, 7 months of my life of testing and waiting for results and waiting to tell people that I love and feeling awkward, you know, having to miss out on certain things or sports activities that I would regularly partake in because I couldn't and I didn't want to tell people why, or meeting up with friends in the city and I didn't want to tell people why. So that's the reality of what happens during these situations. And as a podcast host, I don't want to brush past that because I know here we value authenticity. So I'm telling y'all now, that's what it was. I did not want to talk about it then. I did not want to put it out there until I knew exactly what I was dealing with. And I feel better about that now. Thank God. Thank God, thank Goddess, thank Angelina, thank anybody you thank. Thank Jodie Comer. I'm grateful to be able to say that all is better now, and I'm happy to be able to get back to all the regular everythings. So I also say this because if you do know people that are going through something difficult, maybe that will also give you an understanding. I mean, I know we all say that we understand, but let me tell you something. When you actually go through it, it hits differently. This to me, it just hit on a different level now of like, I've had friends, and I do have friends who are struggling with cancer and other health issues. And when they say they don't want to talk about it, of course, sometimes you're like, but I just found this one amazing thing that I think could help you, or have you heard about this, or have you heard about that? Those things are all well and good, but trust me, when you're in this space, you are doing the research, you are talking to specialists. So if someone doesn't ask for your help, it might be a good idea to just sit back and let them tell you when they do. I did tell a handful of people, and what I appreciated from the ones that I felt close to, that I felt were really helpful, would just say, what can I do for you? Do you want me to read articles for you? Do you want me to listen to podcasts for you? Do you want me to try to find information? And to only one person did I say yes, and that was one of my best friends, who is very scientifically minded, but just knows me very, very well. I wasn't alone in this. I did have support here, which was fantastic, but it was quite challenging being in another country, far from family, far from all my close friends. But thank God for technology, right? Thank God for FaceTime. Oh my God, the FaceTime's got me through that. And you know who you are. But anyway, as I always do say, I want to use this channel as a resource. So if there are things that you guys want to address, you want me to address and bring up and throw out to the community, please let me know. Share in the comments below if there's anything. I mean, that might be too personal. You can't DM me on here, but you can DM me on TikTok if you want. But y'all just be patient with me if you DM me on TikTok, because I do get so many ridiculous DMs of, I don't know, people from all over, a lot of men and a lot of crazy people. But if you have a legit, maybe just title it like podcast idea, and I'll be sure to pay attention to it. Because I would love to hear your ideas if you're too shy to leave them here. And I would love for y'all to join on TikTok too, because I do post different things there sometimes, and it does tend to have a little bit lighter, more fun approach. I know that the episodes here get a little deep sometimes, and I really appreciate the community here, and I like that, and I like it for this platform. And as we continue to move forward in the world through Lord only knows what in the States, right? Like, I'm watching things continue to unfold, and it's just unreal, right? Can we talk about that just for a second? I'm sorry, I'm not going to get super political, but right now everything's political, so we have to talk about it. We have to continue to show up, even if showing up for you just means continuing to stay visual on your social media with a little gay flag every once in a while or whatever. It's like they cannot continue to squash, especially our poor trans community. I mean, what the hell? Who gives people the right, really? We don't. Nobody does. Nobody does. But it just seems like it's happening in some really big countries these days, that people are getting their rights taken away and silenced, and that ain't right, y'all. And I do believe, here's my personal thought on that, not that y'all asked for it, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. I do believe that there's a reason that social media has evolved at the time that it has. And I do believe that we, as a community, as a world, as a global population, can use this to our benefit to stay connected. I mean, y'all know that. We do that here. A lot of people do that in a lot of communities, but what are they going to do? They can't silence every freaking platform. I mean, the cat's out of the bag now. They started to. They threatened with TikTok, and it didn't happen. There's too much money being made, I guess. What do I know? I'm just a little lesbian. I know that in certain parts of the states, it's probably getting a bit more scary, especially maybe in the red states. I mean, I'm from South Carolina, and I go back there all the time. And I don't feel like it's really a whole lot different on the day-to-day, to be honest, y'all. Like, when y'all are walking down the street in Joe Schmo Town, USA, do you feel like it's gotten a lot different? I feel like it's a lot of this online and a lot of BS in the headlines, which is what they want. And they want it to be legitimately scary. I mean, I'm not talking about places where, hormone therapy is being taken away from. I know there are some real legit problems. there's a lot of real legit problems, but I'm talking about maybe us being visible and us still speaking up for our rights. I think that's incredibly important. I think it's still important to, if you're a person that likes to wear, like a lot of people do it by just wearing like some sort of gay necklace or some sort of symbol or something, right? If you still can do that please, where you can. If you can still speak up on your public platform, speak up on your public platform. If you can still hold hands in public with your girlfriend, do that. We do it. My girlfriend and I do it. Of course, I don't feel as scared here in London, to be honest. I feel pretty darn safe. But if she were to come with me to the States, I would want to be able to do that. And if somebody comes up to me and says anything, then Broomhilda, get out my way, because you're going to get the wrath. There aren't many things that I get upset with people about or that I will unleash on people for, but that would be one of them. Like, do not even start trying to take away my rights. Like, just get out my face. Y'all know what I'm saying. Anyway, I feel like today is just a little bit of me sharing personal stuff with y'all that I've been through and a little bit of a rant about what's going on still, and just a reminder that I'm still here. I know I have not been as visible. I wanted y'all to know why, and I apologize for that. Moving forward, let's talk about stuff. Tell me what y'all want to hear. I'll continue to feel out topics as well and see what feels relevant. But also, you should know that it seems to be happening mostly on Fridays, but I've been going live on TikTok on Fridays every now and then with my friend Gal Darish, who is a public speaker, and she's also a lesbian, but she's not as out. She should be. She's a fabulous lesbian, y'all. She's just not as vocal about it, I think. She prefers to stick to her topics, but whatever, we talk about everything. So she comes on with me live quite a bit on Fridays on the TikTok. And that also is under @YourSouthernLesbian or @your.southern. Anyway, you'll find me. It's the same. You'll see me. And feel free to join in. I would love to have y'all there for these things. They're really fun, and people join in, and we get to sort of Q&A live back and forth a little bit. And inevitably, it seems to end up circling back to lesbian community and lesbian relationships and questions that people have. Not that I can answer them all. Sometimes y'all answer for each other, which is fantastic. I am not the end-all be-all guru for these things. I just happen to be trying to facilitate something. Anyway, it is so nice to have you back here. If you made it this far to the end of the podcast, do me a favor and just drop like a little rainbow in the comments or something so I know who's paying attention. And of course, that doesn't have to be all that you comment. Please like this podcast, comment, share it if you get something out of it, because that is how it stays alive and keeps going and how other people find it. Thank you so much. Look out for the other Not Scary podcast to be coming out sort of alongside this one. Y'all listen to that one if you feel inclined, but I wanted you to know what it is, and I wanted you to know that you don't have to if that's something that is triggery for you. The good news is it had a happy ending. Whew! So it's just information. It's just information. And if you feel like you've got people in your life that maybe you could share it with, send it to them, you know? I'm just trying to make some scary things in the world not as scary, if I can do that. And if y'all have ideas for that, please let me know. I'm open to everything. I really am. So sending you all so much love. Thank you, as always, for being here. And I'm wishing y'all a fantastic week. And I will see you next time. Okay? Bye, y'all.